I have arrived. I have arrived to become a better man. I have arrived to take back my community, which is in a state of emergency.
Well, I think society views black men through media, and they perceive them to be what the media presents. I feel that the media gives more of a negative view of the black male rather than the positives in the black community.
There's a movement going on across the country of African American men taking ownership of their identities and how they are perceived by others. In Baltimore, Maryland, the Black Male Identity Project is leading the charge in this effort. With support from the Open Society Institute, Art on Purpose Inc. is bringing together artists, faith-based individuals, community organizers, educators, and youth to create a national model in this endeavor.
There, whenever we want to look at it. It's just that sometimes we choose to look at the things that we see in the news and all the other types of media that drives the stereotypes.
We're very limited sometimes in our ability to think about what the possibilities are. So because of that, I think we have to create these intentional spaces. You know, we have to reshape the way which pop culture, views us. I think sometimes people tend to stereotype and just put us in very narrow spaces, right? And don't think that we can evolve from there.
Within this project, we aim to stimulate community-wide dialogue, art making, and sharing of images and ideas to develop a true and positive story, okay? So, what does this mean? Essentially, this project is a project that allows for breathing room. It's breathing room for them to create, but most importantly, to first and foremost say, or have the opportunity to say, in an emancipatory tonality, I exist.
If you ask me for my personal opinion, I do think there has to be intentional pushback against some of the stereotypes that surround us sometimes, to fill our space, that don't give us an opportunity to come outside of those perceptions and be who we are and to feel safe about it.
With the Black Male Identity Project, we're extremely ambitious. And we have the audacious goal of shifting both conversation and perception of black males on the national level. The way you shift perception is by putting in front of people new images to take the place of the saturation of negative imagery.
I think that it's up to us to choose. Do we want to help encourage that? Or do we want to have the dignity to say, well, that's not me, and let them photograph and think and talk about that, and that's their business, and we go do our business, which is getting along, being along with our history and who we are as black people.
Certainly with an institution like mine, where we have as our role model our namesake, Reginald F. Lewis, a black man who's not only an entrepreneur, but did so more than a generation ago. He's held up as some exception. And I think what we are saying, what we're trying to do, both as a museum and why we're so interested in being involved in this project, is that no, this broad range has always been there.
The reason why this project is so important is that we have got to make sure that society sees African American men and boys out of the appropriate lenses. And so putting the image out there, a positive image, and an image that says to young boys, you can be somebody. Says to folks that, we can create positive peer pressure. And so I am so glad that we're doing this project. It's a very important project, and I'm going to lend my name and my efforts to making it successful.